reacted things from movies, I just started running. Because I thought they were coming with a net. It could be studio security. They'll drag you and take you before his day. What are you doing here? Cut out his brain. And then, they rounded the corner and they were shooting a scene they were doing a TV series of Planet of the Apes. So, I rounded the corner and they were shooting that. So the 20th Century Fox lot there looked like a studio lot when you ever see them depicted in the movies where everybody's walking around in fantastic costumes. Everything. I was walking around, there were burn victims everywhere because they're shooting the Towering Inferno. And they're happy, they're smiling, happy to be working, they're drinking coffee and everything. The guy's got a charred face going like, hey, what time are you getting off? It was like this other world. And I asked, where is Young Frankenstein? I was getting bold, where is that set? And they pointed me in the direction. And, apparently the set had a lot of visitors. It was a popular set and people were coming by. And I opened that door and walked in. And the clip that you saw there, that was made up by someone for me, it's from the Blu-ray, me talking about the experience, but literally I walked in and you're in a real castle, and with echoing and everything, and it wasn't the usual set where you can see the back and wood and stenciled letters. You felt like you were in another time. Torches were lit, and you could hear the echoing voices. So I just sort of, followed it along, following the voices, and eventually saw the set. And then, somebody might have thought I was a studio executive's kid or something like that. So somebody actually, one of the ADs or something like, you could come closer, So I sat there and I was just watching this, couldn't believe that I made it through, that I was there. And then Marty looked over at me and smiled. And, it's very paranoid now in society when people smile at you. I like smiling at people, but sometimes when you smile at somebody, they look like you're Travis Bickle. You know what I mean? Just like, do you know Myers? It's scary. But he looked and smiled at me, and I kind of smiled back and looked away, but I didn't want to call attention to myself. And I noticed he was still pointed in my direction. All of a sudden, I noticed he was approaching me. He was coming closer, and he's dressed in the costume, and he was hunched over. And he had an amused expression on his face, this manic thing, just kind of gravitating, because it's like he had telepathy, he knew what was going on. And as he said, like, hello, and I was hi, and I was trying not to look him in the eye, which is very hard because of the way his eyes were. The way you played hide and seek with Marty Feldman was to stand in front of him. And he was just so amused, he just got it, he just got it, because it turns out he'd done similar things at a young age, snuck in, actually started writing when he was the same age as me, as 15. I found out later his middle name is Alan, spelled the same way as mine. So the exchange that you already saw was basically, you're not supposed to be here, are you? And I said, no. And he said, and I didn't know what was going to happen. He could have bounced me off. And he said, you can stay as my guest. I said, thank you very much. And I said, I'm a big fan of yours. I said, thank you. And I said, not just you're performing, you're writing. And his eyes got really wide. And I started naming the credits. Round the Horn, 1948 show. I named his credits. And he had to go to the set. He goes, stay right here. And we talked about writing. He was so thrilled because he told me that people would treat him like a pet because of the way he looked. He was so intelligent and human and so interesting. He went and told his wife, Loretta, that night. He says, I bet someone in Hollywood actually knows what I'm about, and it's a kid. So,